Hello everyone. So today we are going to be talking about the Jorvik wild horse. Why are we starting on a Generation 2 Friesian sport horse, you might ask? Well, it starts with these guys. So let me tell you a story. Uh, Once upon a time, Star Stable actually tried to be realistic with their horses, and they tried to make realistic explanations for their color. And they tried to explain that Friesian sport horses were in the game, and they were able to be all these colors because they were Friesians mixed with different breeds of sport horses that were then able to produce those colors. Then, when the Jorvik Friesian came out, they got rid of that realistic explanation and they just gave the Jorvik Friesian all of these extremely unrealistic colors, ranging from mildly unrealistic to extremely unrealistic. So, why did they do this? We're going to have to get into that. But how many colors can Friesians really come in? One. There's only one color for a real Friesian, and that is completely black. So, let's talk about why they did this. So, Star Stable used to be very realistic with the colors that they would pick. Star Stable had two original breeds. There was the Friesian and then the Friesian Sport Horse. Now, the reason they did this was because the Friesian, in and of itself, was an ancient breed from. Oh god, where were they from? I just had the page open. By the way, if any of you are curious, I'm using a book that talks about a bunch of horses around the world. Extremely, it's an eyewitness book. It talks about just the basic information on horses, and it's very accurate. It talks about the how horses had evolved and what certain breeds influenced other breeds, and it is what I will be using for most of these videos to reference. So, the Friesian, as we continue, it's a very, very old breed, and it only comes in one color, and that color is black. And it makes it very, very clear to make that argument that it only comes in one color. So, whenever Star Stable wanted to be realistic, they said, okay, well, it's a Friesian sport horse because it was descendant of a Friesian bred with another breed that allowed it to have those other colors. So, the Friesian is originally from the Netherlands. It is from Friesland. Please correct me if that is wrong pronunciation. Um, Here we go. Where does it say? So they're breeding. In temperament and appearance, it is made popular with circus trainers, and its presence and color ensures a market in the funeral business. So, essentially, what this means is people back in the day for circuses and when hearses were originally drawn by horses, um, when they were taking caskets to the burial grounds, they all wanted everything to look very official. And when you want everything to look official, you want everything to be uniform. You don't want one horse to stand out and, you know, diverge people's attention. So they made sure that all of their horses were black. The same for the circus business. If you look at Lipizzans, not Lipizaners, I don't know why Star Stable calls them Lipizaners. If you look at Lipizzans in the circus, that's why another reason why they choose Lipizaners or Lipizzans because most of them are gray. So, continuing on. Um, For the Generation 3 Friesian, Star Stable decided to not go with the multiple breed depiction and just call all of them Jorvik Friesians, hence this creature. So, why is this a problem? Well, Star Stable has tried to make it their goal, it seems anyway, to make horses that are at least somewhat realistic, and they haven't done this with any other breed. With all other breeds, they make sure to try and make them as realistic as possible by just calling them what they are. You know, like you have the American Quarter Horse, you have the Appaloosa, you have the Percheron. These are all breeds that were true to life. Now, granted, most of them have flaws, but they tried to go for accuracy. Like, for example, the Quarter Horse. They went for a lot of accuracy with that horse. They tried to make it as realistic as possible. They wanted that horse to represent a real quarter horse. So, what happened with the Friesian? Why did they ditch that idea? Why are they now calling it a Jorvik Friesian? They have not done this with any other breed. The only breeds that they have done this for are the wild horses that they made up. They're magic horses and the Jorvik wild horses that aren't real. So are they telling us that this horse isn't real? If so, why did they go through all the effort to make it look realistic? Even though they had failed at that as well. Ignoring all of that and going back to the idea that this is supposed to be a real Friesian, let us first take a look at some of the conformation of this horse. Looking first at the head shape. This horse, it is a very good looking horse. Yes, they did a very good job at making this said horse, but the face of a Friesian does not have this this arc to it. It's not as flat. The nose should be a little rounder. Its face should go down a little more. Overall, they didn't do a terrible job, but they could have worked a little longer on it. Not too many complaints. It's just a little wrong overall. They carry their necks way too high. Friesians, they're good. When you walk, it's a little better, but when they're standing, they carry their heads super high. It is unnatural. A horse's center of balance is right here in the shoulders. So when horses walk with their heads up like that, they're throwing their balance back this way, and it's easier for them to fall down. It's really bad for a horse to carry its head up. You want them to look more rounded, kind of like that. So terrible standing posture. If we look at, pardon those, if we look at the feet, they did a pretty okay job with the legs. Personally, I think they should be a little thicker. Friesians are very thick horses, especially back here. There is no muscle here. I don't know what this is, but Friesian legs are rather thick. They are very drafty. They are considered cold-blooded, which, for those of you who don't know, those are the more drafty horses. So, does it mean they're actually cold-blooded? No, it's just a term. So, ignoring that fact, let's continue. Let's go on with the breed being a Jorvik Friesian. I think the only reason they did this was so that they could cobble in another horse that people would use for dressage, because dressage is extremely popular in the game, and people will spend money to get a good-looking dressage horse. So they did this simply to get money. Did they put a little bit of heart into this horse? Yes, I believe they did, because the medieval bridles did come out with this horse. So yes, they do have some interesting aspects to them. Do Friesian manes normally get this long? No, they do not. Some of them, of course, can, especially if you let them go too long without trimming. But, again, I think this was exaggerated for the beauty aspect, for people who wish to use them for dressage purposes. Now, focusing on the animations, this walk is a little bit ridiculous. I don't know horses that walk like this. If you pay attention as this horse walks, you will notice that they swing their butt, they're stomping, they're picking up their legs really high, they're nodding their head and all that stuff. This looks like, so when you're trying to buy a thoroughbred baby for racing and breeding purposes, what they tell you is you want to look for that yearling swagger. You want to see that head bob. You want to see them look like they're really feeling themselves and living up life. You want to see them dig deep in the back. You want to see them pick up in the front. It looks like someone from Star Stable went to a thoroughbred yearling sale and listened to what all of them were saying they wanted in a horse and just said, okay, yeah, do that, and take it all the way up to 10. It's a little much, but it's a generally okay animation. Their trot, I don't really have much to say about it. It's pretty fine. The lope is fine. The canter is very nice. I do like the canter. The gallop, though, I don't really... It looks more like a prance, or like... I don't know. I have never really seen a horse run like this, unless they were kind of like playing, but even so, I wouldn't really say that's the best animation, especially not for a Friesian. The rear's fine, it's just a standard rear. But the hard stop animation, who thought that was a good idea? What is this? The horse throws himself forward and then stomps and continues to walk. Don't ask me. I don't know. See, I think that Star Stable really wanted to just go for big and bold in this horse, just wanted to find something that kids would like so they could get money from them. So I don't really think that... Okay, so this horse, overall, is it a visually appealing horse? For the most part, don't really know what happens with the mane there, but it's fine. Yes, it is a very visually appealing horse. Yes, it sold well. There was rumor of them already wanting to redo the Friesian, according to, like, people's critiques, but they haven't done that, so I'm not too sure. Don't take my word for that. But, do I like the Friesian personally? The Jorvik Friesian? No, I do not. I have one because I have an amazing roleplay character for him, and I like the way I use him, and his model fits it very well. And, like, I like the sassiness for his character, but do I like the horse for the realistic aspect? No, there is no realistic aspect at all to it. Do I respect them for trying to cobble in another horse into their creation? No, I do not. This horse was very shoehorned into Star Stable's game, and if I was to classify this horse, would I put it in the tier with the normal horses or the fantasy horses? I would put it in the tier with all the fantasy horses. To me, this horse falls along the same lines as the Jorvik Wild Horse and all of the magic horses. I do not see this as a real horse, and the only reason that I have reviewed it, because I don't see it as a normal horse, I said I would only review ones that I see as real, is because this horse had gone through those updates where they were real, where the Friesian did exist, the Friesian sport horse did exist. It's the only reason I'm doing this, because they were real at one point. So the fact that they had gone so far off to get another horse in without going through the effort of changing the name again and calling it what a real horse would be, and saying, oh, well, they're special on Jorvik, they're magic on Jorvik. Why didn't they use that excuse for any other horse, is my point. They didn't. So that is why I am making a review on this horse. This horse is not very realistic, and I think this is one of the more early examples of Star Stable just trying to throw in updated horses to get money from kids and to release more horses for said purpose. We'll talk a lot about Star Stable and throwing out horses just to update the horses and get money out of new players, but that'll be in a future video, so that'll be it for now. Thank you for watching.